You fermented your product, you stripped it down, and now what do you do with it? Let me go show you today how to do a spirit run. Hey everyone, Distiller Greyling here, one of your favorite home and hobby distillers. Yes, we are reaching our fun part today, our rectifying run or our spirit run. So these are still the two experiments we did with the sugar wash. We still got a turbo yeast here, and here we've got the baker's yeast that we did with the tomato paste, both the fermentations. So you guys can go check out the videos where we did the fermentation. And then the previous video, we then stripped it down, where we tried to pull as much alcohol out of our wash just to lower our volumes a little bit. And to also get it clear. Like I said, sometimes it might be cloudy if you really run it very fast. So plan today is to do our rectifying run. So what is a rectifying run or a spirit run? That's not a part where we want to distinguish between our heads, our hearts, and our tails. So the heads will be our 4 shots. That's the harsh guys, that's the methanols and high solvents that we don't want, and that you're also not supposed to drink because it can really make you blind, make you sick, make you very unhealthy. So what we tend to do is, I've got all these small cups. So they are 50 milliliter cups. So what I did, halfway 25 mils, I've marked it down for me. So I use this small cups. You can see I've got quite a lot of them. So I would start to, as soon as my distillate comes out at the bottom of the parrot, I would start to collect them and then have them and do quick taste just to make sure you know how it tastes. Especially with my run today, as I've got very low volumes, I might even only fill it to 10 milliliters and then taste it. If it's very sharp, a stingy taste, I will discard it. What we will also do what we will try to do today as well is do the old test with the spoon and the lighter, where we would actually catch this distillate and then we will set it alight. If it burns a kind of a yellow flame, then we know yes, it's still the bad solvents. As soon as your flame starts to turn blue, then you know yes, you got the sweet spot, you got your ethanol, that's what you want. And that's when you move over to your hearts. That's your main run, your main part of your run, and that's your flavors that you want. That's the end product that we are looking for. So obviously your hearts will also be the most volume of your product as well. So what I tend to do is, as soon as I get to that hearts part where I can taste, yes, 2 or 3 cups in a row is now nice and sweet, is that sweet ethanol taste that I want, then I will start to capture it into one of my larger cylinders that I have. So the plan today is I will check how it's going to work. I've got my 250 milliliters, but I can see it will fit. I'll probably just put it a little bit, lift the parrot a little bit, then I can still put it on the table because I want to distill today on the table. But otherwise I will move the parrot just slightly off table, and then I'll use maybe the bigger glass one to just capture, because this one at least can go over to almost 1.5 liters. I'm not 100% sure how much we will distill today. What was our volumes that we got? Oh, that's a good question. See, that's why I write everything down, so that I can know when I do check it again, I can know what I have. Let me just get the right book. There we go. All right, so yes. So for the tomato paste, we ended up with 4,500 milliliters, 4.5 liters. And then on the turbo yeast, we got a little bit more. We got 5.1 liters out. So like I said, the volumes are not too much, so it will tend to be a nice run. Not too long, but still nice for experimental wise. So I'll check how much we actually do capture. We might capture anything from, let's say, 3 liters to maybe 3.5 liters. And this one we can easily capture 4 to 4.5, just depending on how far we want to push it. So that's the other thing. How far do you push it? Because now you will get your sweet taste, and your hydrometer, your alcohol meter might be still, starting in the high 80s, slowly come down. This is where personal preference takes place, because depending on what you distill for that day, you need to distinguish yourself where you want to let it go. So I will definitely, it's like I said, it's been 2.5 years since I actually distilled, and more than 4 years ago since I did a sugar wash. So I'm a little bit out of touch of how sugar wash actually really tastes. So, but I will start, and when I get to say about 30 to 25% ABV on my alcohol hydrometer, I will then go back to the smaller cups. Then I will capture the 25 mils, taste it, 25 mils, taste it, until I can start to taste, you know what, I'm getting off taste. You know, then we're talking about that wet dog or a cardboard taste. You know, you will just taste it. You will come to a point where you tell yourself, you know what, this is not nice anymore, and then that's it. That's your run. Then you know, all right, I've got my heart up until my tails, and this is my product that I want. So if you do a run quite a lot, you've got your recipe that you ferment, and you have distilled it 4 or 5 times, you will tend to know exactly where. You will know that 4 shots is going to be, depending on what's your size, you know it's going to be maybe 5% of what you put in your boiler. That's going to be heads. So you work it out and you say, oh, it's 100 mils. First 100 mils, you know, somewhere you discard. You don't even taste it because you know. And you know you're going to distill, and you know at 22% ABV, that's where I stop, because you know everything after that is bad. Or maybe it's 8% ABV. I don't know what you want to distill, and like I said, it's also about taste and preference. Also, depending on what you distill, this is just a basic sugar wash, but maybe you're making a rum from molasses, or you've got some type of grain that you mix, that you're making a moonshine or a whiskey. It will depend on what raw material or raw product you use to ferment. It's also going to depend on how far you're going to push and what flavors you want to get out. So talking about flavors and how you get your flavors out as well, the more reflux you have in your still, the lesser taste you're really going to have. So you must also find that balance depending on what you distill for that day. You will also set up your still. Like I said, I still enjoy this modular still quite a lot, because I can still interchange it the way I want, and depending on what I want to distill for the day. So when we did the stripping runs, we didn't have the side class. We only had the boiler and the limbic head, because it was just a stripping run, pot still, we just want to push it. Today I actually want to check the side glass a bit, so I've got my 4-inch bubble cap tray in. So I'm going to have boiler, bubble cap, limbic head, straight down to the parrot. So you tend to almost run it this way if you want a rum, because you will still get a lot of flavors out. But as soon as you remove this, and especially the bubble tray, you will get a lot more flavor out if you want a very tasty rum or a nice brandy. If you want to do more moonshine or a whiskey, you will definitely keep this one in, or maybe even swap this one out and have a glass column or a stack column on top, just depending on what your setup is. And obviously if you want now a high alcohol spirits or a neutral type of spirits, you will get as much reflux as possible. So then in my case, I will add my bubble cap here, I will add my glass column there, and I have my reflux condenser that I will push down that reflux as well. But okay, in any case, so for today I'm going to run it like this, play a little bit with the bubble cap here. The rest is just going to be standard as it is. I'm also not going to put any copper inside there, because copper is normally for my really raw materials like a grain or a rum. So sugar wash, I'm not too worried about having any sulfites in, so I'm not going to put any copper in the blend there today. So I think the next steps will be we'll start with the tomato paste, the baker's yeast one. We'll get that one into the boiler. I will just again heat it up a little bit slightly on the gas stove, just to make sure that we cut a bit of time on the distilling as well. But you also want it to, as soon as you see your temperature rise, or as you start to see, especially like in a glass section like this, when you start to see a lot of vapors, you want to bring down your heat. So what we'll typically do is that I'll heat it on the gas stove a little bit, then we'll put it in the boiler, we'll push our induction plate up to maximum, that's 2000 watts. And as soon as I see a lot of condensate here, I will bring down that watts to about 500 watts. that induction plate on 500 watts, that's the sweet spot that I've been distilling all the years. So then I'll keep it on that 500 watts, and then we'll just take it nice and slow, because you want to give the alcohol time to actually get stripped by the bubble caps, you know, cool down a little bit in the limbic gate, and before we get that reflux, and then we'll get the products out. I will then, at the end of the day, we will do 2 runs, both. We will have a comparison. I'll have 2 or 3 cups out that we will have a little bit of a taste and a smell comparison, just to see, you know, how did the turbo yeast compare to the baker's yeast. I must say it's not ideal to always have a sugar wash. It's, yeah, maybe you want to do something experimental wise and you don't want to use a good product. Sugar wash is okay for that. I also had a few comments on Facebook saying that I mustn't use turbo yeast or baker's yeast at all, it's very bad. And I do understand that, and I do appreciate the feedback, and I think I will definitely do a proper sugar wash one day with real distiller's heat and real distiller's nutrients, that we can actually make a good and proper sugar wash. This, for now, for this whole journey, was just about experimenting the difference between turbo yeast and baker's yeast. So yes, it might not be the best product or the best yeast to use, but that's what I still like about this whole thing. It's about experimenting and see how it ends up. So today we're just going to check it, do the spirit run, your rectifying run, have a taste afterwards, compare it, and then that will be it. But I will definitely try and make a proper sugar wash one day. We'll follow the same recipe, same 6.25 kgs of sugar, and we'll go through the whole process, but then hopefully we'll have a better sugar wash when it comes out at the end. All right, so let me set up everything quickly, and then I'll check you guys out again. Hey everyone, all right, got everything set up. We've got the baker's yeast stripped wash in here. That's that roughly 4.5 liters at 50% ABV. Like I said, I did start to heat it up on the stove, but I kind of forgot that because it's such a high percentage of alcohol, it's actually going to start to heat up much quicker than the wash. So I actually had it on for maybe 2-3 minutes, and then I immediately took it off. So next one for the turbo yeast, we'll just start straight in the boiler on the induction stove. So yes, I'm going to switch on this guy, and like I said, I'm going to take it to 2000 just to get that initial heat up going. As soon as I start to see a lot of vapor or condensate in the glass column, I will take it down to 500. So I just want to write my time more or less. It's a real lovely day today. It's one of those nice days to start and distill. Temperature, now we got about 21 degrees Celsius. It's ambient temperature at this moment. It's roughly about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's not too bad. So what I do got here, I've got all my cups. Like I said, I'm going to take it to about 10 milliliters per cup, where I will then start to catch the 4 shots, taste it. As soon as I get the sweet taste, I will then start to capture it in the long cylinder, the glass cylinder there. So I've kind of set up here to see how I can put it. I might on a later stage get something else, because it is a little bit long, so I had to incorporate something that I can actually capture it. So yes, so far it's good. I'm actually very excited, because this is going to be the first proper run that I'm going to do since I started again. So it's actually going to be very exciting, very nice. So plan is to do the baker's yeast first, show you guys how I do my cuts on the 4 shots, and then when the heart starts, then obviously just let it run. And then when it's here about 30 to 25 ABV percent alcohol, I will then start to capture the cups on 25 mils each, have a taste to see if I can get that cardboard taste, and then I'll push it a little bit just to kind of see how bad it gets, to also give that as reference. But it's not ideal. As soon as you get that taste where you know for yourself that this is not nice anymore, then you can cut it. All right, other things that I do got set up, got my cooling water already set up. It is closed here at the needle valve, but I've already tested it, no leaks today. So I don't know what happened on the previous run, but yes, it's no leaks today, so I'm happy. Got my cooling water running outside with all my collection jars, collection holders that I will just throw it back into the tank. I just saw last time that if I push my cooling water all the way to the tank, it's as if it's just too far, or the head is just too high for the council water that we have. So I'm really excited to see if I do get that pump going, that pump will actually make that circulation, and then we can actually suck straight from that back tank through the cooling condenser all the way back to the tank. So, but I'll definitely look into that. I have a little bit, and my brother-in-law also has got one, so we will definitely have a nice talk together. Right, let's feel this guy's slowly heating up. Well, I can feel it. A little bit of condensate in this side glass already, so it shows me that definitely it's heating up faster, because alcohol is heating up much quicker, and I mean it's got 50% of alcohol against water, so that's good. I don't see anything there yet, so, and everything is still very cold, so if any vapors would come up, it will immediately condense, and the cold metal and glass will actually take the heat away from the vapors, and the vapors will condense again as reflux. So we'll definitely have a look for that. Alright, so guys, I'm just gonna now let it run for a while, and then as soon as I can see a lot of condensate is coming and we're about to capture, I will then start again and show you guys. Alright, we got to a point where I took it down to the 500 watts it's currently on. I can see a lot of fine condensate on the side glass, but it's still cold, so it shows that it hasn't really heated up as yet. I can definitely feel here it's getting hot to the touch. This side's not too bad, but it's still very cold here as well, and definitely still here. We've got about 22 degrees Celsius on the temperature, so it shows me that the vapor hasn't really passed through yet. It's still just heating up, but we're having a little bit of activity here. So, and that's why I also like this glass column after the glass side glass, because it's so cool. You can actually see what's happening, what's going on. And yeah, like I said, sometimes I would even just take out the bubble tray and just have it in there as a kind of a straight pipe, but it's just for visual references that I can see what's going on inside. Very cool. So yes, we'll still have it run. As soon as temperature rises nicely and the vapor is starting to come through, we'll catch that 4 shots, and hopefully we'll have enough to make our experiment as well. Catch you guys again. Alright, we're about 35 minutes in from that when we switch on the heat, and about 25 minutes since I reduced it to 500. So I can see a lot of reflux flowing down here on the side of the glass chamber. You can see a lot of small droplets also starting to come down, and a little bit of accumulation on the bottom of the bubble tray. Hasn't boiled yet, so it's not as hot yet, but it's definitely telling me that my vapor is now starting to pass through, and it's still cold here, so it's condensing. The copper is now taking all the heat away from the vapors, condensing it, bringing it down, and as soon as this copper head is going to get hot and warm to the touch, we will see that temperature dial start to rise, and then we know our vapors is going to pass through. So everything is happening as expected. I like to see there's a lot of reflux coming down, because everything is still very cold, everything is condensing. And this is also a nice visual representation of what a reflux condenser or a defragmenator actually does. Because when your still is now hot and you're starting to run and you're getting spirits out, you can't really cool it down. But having that defragmenator or cooling condenser or reflux condenser right there on the top of your still, you force that vapor to cool down and you push it back into your still, causing any water to actually, it's heavier, goes down farther down to all the way to your boiler even, and any alcohol vapors that's light get stripped, get cleaned, and only the alcohol vapors will start to pass through depending on how you have set your cooling water on your defragmenator. So it's very cool. I like it. Like I said so many times, this glass column, glass side glass, I enjoy it so much to see what's going on. So I can see a very nice accumulation starting to happen. Obviously the downcomer of the bubble cap trays is right at the bottom. If you guys want to know more about bubble caps, go check out one of my older videos that I explained it very nicely. I might do one day a recap on that video, or a 2.0, because I've learned some new things as I've grown in experience as well. But I still think it was a very cool video. That one shows exactly how it works and what's the downcomer and what's the bubble cap and why it is designed as it is. We also talk about perforated plates and what's their function. But I actually want to see to get a real proper perforated plate that I can actually show it to, you know, how you distill, keep the temperature constant, certain volume, push it through, see how the bubble caps react or versus a perforated plate. So it's definitely accumulating nicely. Temperature is now, you can see it's risen quite a lot, so it's definitely starting to push through. I'm going to crack open my cooling water just a little bit to see, and we will take note of it. I'm going to check my time. I've got that. You can hear the cooling water is flowing behind me. I might just move it a little bit. Alright, got 72 degrees Celsius, so it definitely tells me that vapor is starting to pass through. Let me just feel here. It's getting warm, so definitely it's starting to push through. And we will just check what's going to happen here. I've got my parrot open, so the bottom one is open, so obviously closed and open. So like I said, I want to capture 10 milliliters at a time and have them stacked out so that we can see exactly what it is, have a small taste as well, just to verify and see, you know, is it strong, is it not. And then especially the first 10%, I want to do a test with the lighter and the spoon, just also to show you guys visual representation of how it works. But still monitoring it, still coming through, getting a lot of accumulation. I see it's actually starting to go back down. It's on that downcomer level. I can slowly start to see a little bit of bubbling on the plate as well, meaning that it's starting to heat up, and even the liquid as well is heating up, and that's what we want, because we want to see a little bit of boiling right here at the bubble caps as well. No drips yet. Checking, its temperature is still increasing. Have a feel. Oh yeah, it's starting to heat up, so very soon we will definitely start to see drips coming out. Just that waiting game now to check and wait how it's going to come out. I reckon I'm going to catch maybe about 30 to 40 mils, and then it's starting going to become to get a sweet taste, and then I'm going to move over to my heart. But obviously we will just check. It's been a while since I have distilled, and it's been a while since I did a sugar wash as well, but it's still fun. I really enjoy it. So there's, just keep an eye out. As soon as it comes out, I will definitely have a chat again. Wasn't even long. So there it comes out. So just want to check it. It was at 79, 78. Hey. So just close it at 10 milliliters. 10 milliliters might even be too much. Not sure. We will definitely check. Alright, got 10 mils out. That will be my first one. Just put in the second one. Alright. A little bit sharp, but actually a little bit on the sweet side. So it is interesting. Very interesting. We will capture the second one as well. Like I said, I'm going to do about 5, or until I can definitely feel that the taste is much sweeter. I'll put my book here. Alright, let's just, so we got the first one, second one, third one. Let's just say a little bit of a sharp taste, but not honestly not that bad. I might say honestly not that bad. Alright. definitely capture a bunch of them maybe, and then I'll start to capture a little bit more for the hearts, as I really feel like this is not too bad. I'm actually a little bit impressed. I did leave it open because it's sometimes good when you do distill to keep your product open even overnight for any harsh vapors to evaporate. So that might also lead to why I'm getting such clean product out already, that I let it breathe for quite some time before I actually closed the container or sealed it. Also get a little bit of good practice. Yes, there's a chance that you might lose a little bit of your product itself, but you're going to lose more of the harsh liquid or vapors in than actually the good stuff. So it is good to definitely keep your distillate after you've distilled it, to let it breathe, just to make sure that all the harshness is out. Okay, I'm going to see how many I do right here now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 already. Just have a taste. Actually really starting to get sweet. So I'm gonna do 10. Yeah, let's do 10 in total. So we got 6 now. Then I will do 10 cups in total, and then from the 10 cups I will then start to capture more, or actually just add the longer cylinder here, so that we can start to capture the main hearts as well. Like I said, I'm really impressed. Doing very, very well. Like I said, if you've done your run a few times, you would know where your 4 shots is and when your heart starts. So it's nice to know that if you have a recipe and you've done it a few times, that you don't have to do all this hassle of having all the individual cups in very small cuts to determine where it stops and where it starts. This is just for me now to just get in line again. Obviously it's also for demonstration purposes, but I know a lot of times, especially when I've done my rum distillations a few times, I know depending on the volume that I distill, I know that yes, that first 100 to 75 or 75 to 100 milliliters, 4 shots. As soon as it's out, turn it over to the bigger container, and then I just capture, and I know if it's here about 18% ABV, then I stop my run, because I've done it a few times and I know how it is and how it's tasting and what to expect. All right, now I'm very happy how it tastes. Very good. We put this guy in so long. Obviously parrot will start to fill up as well now, and I just want to get this one ready. I definitely have to look at a better setup here. I'm not very happy with this one. I'm just going to move it a little bit. Standing at a little bit of an angle, but at least we will be able to capture it, and we will also see as soon as product does come out, you know, how does the parrot also move up. So for all of these now, I will check 1 or 2 experiments with the spoon and the lighter. When you do that experiment, just do it fairly away from where you are distilling, because remember, you are distilling alcohol and it is highly flammable. You don't want to sit here and test and then your whole still catch light. So I'm probably going to be more near to the camera or a little bit to that side and just do the test there, just to make sure. I just want to start to see that my product does come out. So as soon as the product comes out and I can see we are starting to capture, then I will leave this and then we'll do 1 or 2 of our experiments. Add a little bit of a taste, especially on the last one. I'm still very happy, really excited to see and curious of how that experiment is going to be with the spoon and the lighter. But yes, product is almost there. It's like really just about to overflow. Still want to see exactly how much is it. So as soon as it overflows, we will definitely have a look. Still is fairly quiet. I was expecting a little bit more bubbling here, but maybe as it heats up when we're getting to the more end of the run, temperatures tend to heat up more, then we'll probably see a bit more activity. Now it's roughly about 80 degrees Celsius at this moment. See there, parrot is starting to lift up. Good. Okay. Let's see. Okay, and it comes out about 89 ABV. That's all right. Just gonna have a good run. There we go. There we go. All right. Very happy with that one. Okay, like I said, I will just let it run now. Tasting very, very good actually. Maybe just because I haven't distilled in such a while, everything tastes good. Maybe if I really actually start to ferment something proper, it's going to taste much better. But yes, flow is not too bad. I will then let it capture. Like I said, I'm expecting about 3.5 to 4 liters maybe for today in total. So what I'll do is I'll keep it at 1 liter increments and then transfer over to my holder, and then we'll see at the end of the day how much we did collect. But I'm going to let this one now run for a while. I'm not necessarily have to take a lot of readings constantly. I just like to always get that first one out and to see how it performs. So let's move it over to this side and get experiments going. Alright, so from all our collections, I'm just going to take the first one, put it in my spoon, and then we'll set it alight and see what happens. Alright, I hope you guys will be able to see it. I'm going to try and bring it near. Just get my light on. It actually burns blue. So like I said, it's already a little bit of red, but you would definitely see a very sharp red flame. There's a little bit of red at the edges, but most of it is blue. I will definitely also have a look on the other ones as well. Now this is just a tricky part of how to get it extinguished, because you don't want to tend to blow and then spray everything all over, because then I might set my camera light there. Best thing is to either let it burn out like it's currently doing. I can see it's really getting less and less, so that's maybe the best way. Otherwise, if you're outside, it's just easy to throw it somewhere where it's safe. But I'm just leaving it to burn out for a while. You can see if I take it to the edge of the spoon where it's hotter, it actually boils. And I think you guys can definitely see it much clearer what's happening. It's almost. Alright, and then for interest's sake, we are gonna put the last one as well. So this was the last of the 10 mils that we had on our 4 shots or our heads. I want to see if there's going to be a difference. Now this is interesting. It's as if this one burns more yellow than I thought. Okay. See, doing experiments like this sometimes confuse me, because now I'm wondering that should I have let that 4 shots run a bit longer or not, but it is okay. I think for interest's sake, we're gonna capture some that's coming out of the store now and also set it alight and see what happens. Just wanting to let this burn out for a second. We are fortunate to have tile floors, so if I do spill it on the floor, I will not set the carpet alight. But I don't think the wife would like it if I even do spill. But yes, so far everything is good. I don't want to set my hand on fire. Yeah, almost. Just make sure that it is dead before you capture some. Alright. It is sweet. I'm very happy. I have to get myself a new one, huh? Alright. I think we will do this experiment again when we distill something proper that I definitely know has got some methanol. So I was expecting a more brighter flame. There's a little bit of yellow, but it's not as bright as I would normally see it. But it's just to give you guys an idea of what is happening and how you can do it. So I will not say this was a very successful experiment, but at least you guys have seen it. We will try it with the turbo yeast one as well, but I also let that one breathe for 24 hours. So it might be that all the harsh vapors are also out on that one. So we will definitely have a look when we do distill that one as well. So right, thank you guys for checking out so far. So let me just get back to that side. So we got roughly about 100 mils already captured. It's going good. We're still at a 88, 89, 88 and a half ABV, so it's still going good. Temperature, we're still roughly at that 80 degrees Celsius. Things is looking good. Like I said, this is my slow run. That's where I definitely want to get the product out, get it good, get it stable. You can see a lot of reflux, so it's fine. I will definitely just let it run. And this is my fun part where I can check everything out, check here, tweak there, do everything. And that's what I enjoy about distilling. This is what I enjoy about this having as a hobby as well. So to have a little bit of reflection, strange enough, I really had a rough and interesting week at work. So coming to a Saturday like this that I can actually distill again just makes me decompress, you know, just let me unwind and let me, while I'm busy, I'm thinking, you know, thinking back on what happened at work and what we can do to resolve it. And sometimes I'm so busy caught up what I'm doing is I forget about work completely. And that's what I feel sometimes it's the importance of having a hobby, is you don't want to constantly worry and stress and be overwhelmed in whatever situation you are, whether it's work or personal or I don't know what's happening in your life, but you want to have something that you can let loose a little bit. We were talking this week and one of my colleagues at work says, you know, they enjoy going for a run. And if that's your thing, I would say go for it. Don't let things keep bottled up and force you to burn out and get overwhelmed and, you know, get to a point where you don't feel like there's anything else that can help. And yeah, we don't know what your thoughts about it. So get yourself a hobby. If it's something that you do, go out and do it, whether it's painting or singing or anything. And if you're wondering whether you should start a hobby again that you maybe haven't done for quite a while, definitely go for it. I saw it for myself when my wife told me, hey, maybe you should distill again, and I started again. Yes, I enjoy doing the YouTube videos as well, and it's fun to share with you guys what I'm doing. But it's just sometimes just fun for myself to check everything out again, to go through my products, my equipment, and have a look at it. At this moment on the kitchen, I'm pouring out a 5-liter oak barrel that I had some rum in that I still made all the way in Gauteng. So it's been standing now for about 9 months in the barrel, so I'm actually pouring it out today. And yes, I saw that barrel it's actually leaking at the back, so I'm trying to see that I had 6 batches that went through that barrel. One was in for 18 months, so I think I really used up that small barrel, so it's maybe time to get a new one. But looking at the product that came out, it's very light. I think actually I'm gonna add some oak chips and let it wood for a little bit longer. But that's the thing, you know, I'm not just distilling this today, I'm actually doing something else that's still part of my whole hobby. And go for a run, go do your stretches, go to the gym, whatever you do, just go out and do it. It's good to decompress. It's good to have something that you can look forward to that gives peace to your inner self. All right, enough about me babbling. I'm gonna let it run, and then when the run is over, or when we get to our 30 to 25% ABV, I will then start to put the cups out again. I'm actually gonna just taste everything again and just figure out for myself. I'm actually gonna throw this into here, or am I gonna throw it out? I might throw the first 5 out just for safe keep and keep the other 5. I will check, but as this is not typically the sugar wash product that I've got now, I don't think I'm really going to use it. I'm going to do experiments with it, but I'm not really going to use it for something that I can sit in the afternoon and have a drink or two. So I will definitely still keep the sugar wash at the end of the day, but it's going to be for a bunch of experiments so that I don't feel like I'm wasting some of my alcohol that I really distilled and have a good and proper product. So it's good to sometimes like this have this so that I can actually have fun with it. But that is it for now. We're roughly at 200 mils already. Activity is fairly quiet. Temperature is still at 80%, so everything is going good and slow and proper, and that's giving me time just to sit back and reflect and take it easy. Thanks guys. Hey everyone. Alright, so a while ago I just decided to bump it up to 800 watts because that 500 watts was just too quiet, no activity at all. So you can definitely see a much more activity at the bubble plates as what I wanted. You can also see temperatures went up slightly but not too much. I still got about 87 ABV on my parrot. I'm still happy, and I can also see my collection speed has definitely increased. My stream is now more constant, and I'm actually, it feels a bit better. So it's also interesting to see that maybe it's now because we're down at the lower altitude, more on sea level, that I can run it a little bit hotter than I normally would run it. So it's quite interesting, very excited. It actually makes it very fun to do a basic run with a sugar wash, so that when I actually do my own products, then I know it will be better. I will definitely do the turbo wash straight on the 800 and not on the 500, and then later jump up to the 800. So I see it's almost at 1 liter. I'm just going to get my glass container ready, transfer it back in there, and then see you guys again. Alright, first liter is out. Very happy, very excited. So I will run it now until I see that 30 to 25% ABV, and then we'll start to do the cuts. Alright, thank you guys. Hey everyone. Alright, I had about 650 milliliters that I captured more, and then it's now here by the 25% ABV. Just want to catch this 25 mils. I never really thought about how I'm going to capture it while still looking at the ABV, and I've got this whole distance here that I have to work with. So it was quite interesting now to see what am I going to do. So I just thought, you know, let me catch it in my hand and just put it there. So maybe I'm going to put my book here, and then I can start to pack out. So the idea is actually to have a taste, So I just want to try and capture this one. It's almost at the 25. Okay, so that's my first one. Got my spoon nearby as well. Yeah, I can definitely start to taste that it's not that clear ethanol taste that we had, but it's not bad yet. So I'm actually gonna capture a few of it. So idea now is just to catch a few. Yeah, just to catch a few, and then maybe push it to either 10 or lower ABV, just to see what the taste does. I'm actually going to start to minimize them as well. I've got only 15 on this one. And get it there, because I can definitely see that the parrots are starting to pick up a lot faster. So it means that alcohol is starting to get fewer. I can also see my temperature is already almost at the 100 degrees Celsius, meaning that a lot of water is now also starting to go through. It means that the alcohol is starting to get completely done. So I'm actually going to start to make the cuts very small. It's actually for me just to get an idea, get a taste of what's happening, because it's the first time I've really done a sugar wash up to this level, and especially also with the baker's yeast. And I'll do the same for the turbo as well, to see exactly where we will get to there. So let me catch a few, and then I will chat with you with the results. I also, for interest's sake, I actually scooped out 25 mils before I started to distill, to have like my control. I'll do exactly the same with the turbo yeast. So what we'll do at the end of the day is I will have a control that will be before we did the spirit run, and then I'll have one after, to compare them with one another, as well as comparing the turbo yeast with the baker's yeast as well, to see now how the two of them also differ from one another. Alright, I think I'll catch you guys again on the results. I'm going to pack them up nicely. It's about 18 ABV at this moment. I actually, after this one, I actually just want to have a taste again, just to taste how it tastes at this moment. And then before I shut down, I will just quickly have a quick insert, and then obviously we will empty it out, get the turbo yeast in, and then start distilling there as well. Not bad yet, but you can start to taste that it's getting to the end of the run. I'll still push it a little bit more. Alright, I'm actually going to switch it off. So I got to about 5% ABV. So if I have a taste through all of them, from the first one, this was run about 25% ABV. Still tastes nice, almost like a subtle vodka type of smell. Taste. Smell, I can also smell still a little bit of sweetness. So if I go through and then go to the last one, I got 20 out, and this is at a 5% ABV. It's almost like I can't get any smell anymore. It's really, very faint, and it's not that it's bad. It's not a wet dog or a cardboard type of taste, but it's just kind of tasteless. It's really, yes, it's like if you give me that to drink, I would take a sip and then I would just say no, sorry, I'd rather have water, because it just tastes like water that's been standing in the sun for a day. It's not nice. So I'm gonna have a taste through all of them. I can't remember exactly, how did the percent ABV went until the 5, but I'm gonna have a taste and then do exactly the same run with the turbo yeast as well, and then afterwards we'll have a taste. So if I come to say that this one is my mark, I'm happy with all of those, I will add it in there and then measure everything together, and the rest I would just throw away. I would also just rinse out everything currently, before I add the turbo yeast as well, just to make sure that it's clean and I've got a neutral run starting with the turbo yeast. So the next time you see me, turbo yeast will probably be starting heating up and we'll get things going. Hey everyone, I'm gonna quickly check my time. So definitely a lot of reflux, temperature is shooting up, so I'm expecting first drips to come out shortly. So you can see the turbo wash is more volume. It was at 5.1 liters against the 4.5 liters, so it's slightly higher up in the still as well, so in the boiler. So it's looking very well. I'm gonna check it now. Temperatures are increasing very nicely, and then we will see the first drips. I'm gonna take 10 cups again of about 10 milliliters each, taste them again to see how much heads there are or what we are going to remove or not, and then I will start to fill the glass cylinder as well. See, there it comes. All right, let's quickly maybe put it here. So okay, so let's see, first drips is coming out. It's coming out definitely faster, because remember now I also increased my power output to 800 and not the 500 that it was. I'm just going to close it and then do it like this. It's going to help me a little bit. Yeah, definitely come out much faster, but it's okay. I've got my cups with me, so I'm fine. Like I said, we'll get about 10 out and then we will do a quick taste test and see how it measure up against the baker's yeast. Turbo yeast tend to be a bit more cleaner. I've read it a little bit. So as I said before, it's not your, if you really want to have a good and proper turbo yeast, a good and proper sugar wash, turbo yeast is actually not the best one to use. Turbo yeast is just if you want that alcohol out fast and whatever you want to do with it, experiment, or if you just want to drink it like that, that's also probably fine, make a vodka or something. But if you really want to make a sugar wash to use as a type of a gin mixture or something, yeah, you want to do it properly, and that's why I said I think I will try and do a more proper sugar wash in future videos. Alright, let me see what I have here. It's coming out so fast, I haven't even counted what's happening here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hey, on the spot. You want to spot check this one quickly, and then I will get the glass cylinder in. Yes. Alright. So I have this one here. Obviously we'll now look at the parrot again to see how it comes up. So let's quickly have a taste. It's definitely a little bit harsh. I can do taste it. If I can remember correct, yes, we took 5 of the baker's yeast away, and then the rest of the other 5 we threw in. So I'm actually going to do exactly the same. I will have a taste test as well, and also do a flame test just for interest sake as well, just to see how it stacks up. But I think I'm going to try and treat them the same, as I want to have more controlled or benchmark type of results, you know, keep each one the same. I will then also distill up to that 20% to 15% ABV. Like I said, from 25 I started making my cuts, and as I did my cuts here out in the middle somewhere, it still tasted alright. The rest I just discarded. So I reckon it's about 20 to 15%. I'm not 100% sure, but it's going to be interesting to taste how the turbo yeast is going to taste at that end. So guys, that's it for now. I will check that everything comes up. Cooling water, maybe just open a little bit more here. Still cold, still okay. I just saw this one moving a little bit, so or let me just open it up slightly. So once I've distilled all the turbo yeast, and here it comes. Alright, let's quickly have a look see. So come out at 93. All right. Yes, it was a 54% against a 50 in the beginning. So 93, well, it is expected to be a little bit more. Also 80 degrees Celsius. And just writing my time about, okay. So, first drips. So it's very interesting for me to see now that here in the coast at the lower altitude, I am definitely getting alcohol first out here by 80 degrees Celsius. When we were up a little bit higher altitude in Gauteng, it was normally around 72 to 73 degrees. So it's very interesting to see how 7 degrees difference. Yeah, it's very interesting for me. I will read a little bit about it, because obviously the higher you go, the lower the boiling point also gets. So it's a do of altitude. But yes, I'm going to let this one run now, and then once I'm done, we'll be back at the thinking space. We will then start to compare all of them. Like I said, I also have a control for my turbo yeast, so we will definitely measure the control, measure how we distill it out. And I actually have got some neutral grain spirits that I made from malted barley, starch conversion, fermented, high reflux run. So I actually want to take that as well. If I know what's my final product going to be, I will try and water each down that they all say at the same percent ABV. And then I want to taste how it tastes against that neutral grain spirit as well. It's also going to be quite interesting to see how everything stacks up. So yes, that is it for now, guys. I'm going to let it run, and then we'll get back when we're at the table. Thank you. Cheers. All right, we are back at the think space. So quite an interesting day. Really enjoyed it. So let's quickly get to the numbers before we get to the smell and taste. So I've got my baker's yeast on this side. So we started off with a 450 milliliters at 50% ABV. That's after our stripping run. So I distilled out today 2,760 milliliters at 78% ABV. So to give you a rough idea about alcohol recovery, so if I take the 4.5 at 50%, I get 2,250 milliliters of absolute alcohol. If I take my 2,760 by 78, I get 2,152.8. Gives me roughly a 95.7% recovery. So it means that I recovered almost 96% of the alcohol that was from my stripping run. I recovered again today. So I'm quite glad that went very well. Turbo yeast on this side. So we started off with 5.15 liters at 54%, and I distilled out 3,450 milliliters at 80% ABV. So it gives me roughly a 99.25% recovery from the stripping run to the spirit run or rectifying run. So what I have got here is I've got my control, the first two, and then I've got my distilled spirit run or rectifying run. And then here I've got a very much older neutral grain spirits that I distilled from malted barley that I want to use as a type of a reference for tasting the different ones. I have diluted everything down to more or less 40% AVB because it's just a little bit better on the palate to not have as high percent alcohol, because I mean even 50% is already quite high and 80% is going to be rough, and this guy I have it at a 90% ABV. So no, everything's diluted to more or less 40. So I have started to taste, and strange enough there's a little bit of a difference between the turbo yeast and the baker's yeast after the stripping run, but not as much. Where the taste really comes in with a difference is the spirit run or rectifying run we did today. So the baker's yeast, it's almost like a subtle vodka taste. You still, it's basically almost just alcohol. So you do got that sweet ethanol taste, but it's as if you taste it and then it's gone. The turbo yeast one it's definitely a much sharper taste. It's almost like, it's not an alcohol sting, but there's something else in it. And that can show that because it fermented faster, it gives you unwanted flavors that you typically maybe don't want in a fermentation. So that's why I tend to ferment a little bit longer and slower if you want a good product. So it's quite interesting. So at this moment, I'm leaning towards taste for the baker's yeast, even though the turbo yeast has give you more yield, but it's depending on what you want to do with it. And at this moment, it was just experiment to see. Then taking my 2 rectifying or spirit runs, if I compare it against the neutral grain alcohol that I have here. Now, I did a malted barley starch conversion, fermented it, stripping run, and then a high reflux run. It's definitely a difference between from here to this last one. You got that nice grainy vodka taste, and then you got the nice aftertaste that lingers for a while and then disappears. So you can definitely see that the way you do your fermentation and even the yeast that you use and even the raw product that you use really does shine on later when you do your rectifying or spirit run. So I'm very interested to see that if I do a sugar wash again with a better yeast, a real distiller's yeast and not a turbo or a baker's yeast, you know, what is the taste profile you might get? And then from there, how would it compare against the neutral grain spirits that I fermented from malted barley or distilled from malted barley? So I'm very happy. It was a very great experiment. So I hope it gives you guys an idea of, you know, baker's yeast might not give you the yield, but it's kind of better, even though it's a bit more cost-wise than your turbo yeast. Turbo yeast, if you just want alcohol fast and quick and dirty, you can use it, but you will have a little bit of a sharper taste that might not be what you want unless you are gonna say use it for a gin, you know, infuse it with juniper or something. But maybe that is your palate, maybe you want that something more sharper, then it's okay, then you can drink it. Just maybe cool it down a lot. Yes, then it's maybe that taste was not so bad. But the neutral grain spirit is definitely a winner for me today. This is also the one that I've always used to make my gin as well. So I do got some few liters still left. So definitely when I do make gins again, I will definitely try this one again. And if I see it does get low, we will definitely do malted barley starch conversion and ferment and distill again. Well, since I'm here in the Western Cape, maybe I'll try something different, you know, maybe a fruit, a pear or an apple or something. It might be something nice, something different, but yes. Smell profile, I forgot that one. So the control straight from the stripping run, baker's yeast has got a little bit of a sweeter smell, even though it's still very much alcoholish. Can definitely taste your turbo yeast has got a little bit sharper smell on the rectifying spirit run, and then our control. You can even smell it. It's different. It's almost, it's got a real sweet smell. So it is malted barley, so it does have a little bit of a malty smell as well, and that's maybe why it tastes so nice and reminds me of a whiskey. But that is it. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. So this is our final part in our sugar wash experiment against turbo yeast and baker yeast with tomato paste. I really enjoyed it. It was a fun first distillation for me. So next up we will maybe see if we do a little bit of flavor infusions with these two and play around with what I have got here in the garden, or maybe what I still got there in the cupboard, to just show you guys how you can do different types of infusion. This guy I will leave when we do a proper gin, that we will definitely use this one. These ones I'll probably just throw out. I will bottle a little bit of this, but most probably just keep it in the glass carboys in any case, just for storage purposes. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, remember to be awesome, to be kind, and be yourself. Cheers.